They tell me I've changed. They wonder why I don't explain as much. They call me hard to understand. But here's what they don't see. I'm not broken. I am evolving. This is my story, and perhaps also the hidden story of many women. I'm speaking now from within this experience, from the inside of shifting hormones, shifting roles, shifting expectations. I want you, whoever listens, to understand that when I seem distant, quiet, or different, it is rarely a choice. It is often the result of internal winds you cannot see. It begins with what is happening inside my body, changes I cannot stop, but must learn to live with. As I entered perimenopause, that transition before full menopause, my estrogen and progesterone rhythms became erratic. The body that used to respond predictably no longer does. In a landmark study involving 9,041 women, researchers found that women in perimenopause had about 40% greater risk of depression compared to when they were fully premenopausal. In a meta-analysis of global data, the pooled prevalence of depression among menopausal women reached 35.6% and perimenopausal women averaging 33.9%. That is not a small number. 1 in 3 mood changes are real. The American College of Obstetricians and Gynecologists says that about 4 in 10 women experience mood symptoms during perimenopause, akin to premenstrual syndrome, yet more intense, more persistent. Sleep is disturbed, night sweats, hot flashes, insomnia. My ability to concentrate slips. Brain fog becomes a recurring guest. This phenomenon is sometimes called postmenopausal confusion or menopause brain fog, when memory and attention suffer more than before. Each night awakened, each hormone surge, each restless mind they wear on me, and yet I keep going. Inside, I am less capricious and more intentional. I have fewer illusions about what I can carry. Years of life teach me what matters and what doesn't. I grow more certain of who I am and more protective of my inner space. In psychological studies, women in midlife often report stronger identity clarity, deeper values, and more mature self-concept than in earlier years. They become more selective, more wary of draining emotional demands. When I don't share every thought, it's not because I don't trust, but because I'm conserving. When I frame fewer apologies, it's not cruelty, but a firmer boundary. My world is full: aging parents, children reaching for their own lives, professional responsibilities pulling me in many directions. That pressure fills my available space. The emotional margin I once had grows thinner. I prioritize. And often that means I reduce the small talk, the spontaneous check-ins, the constant effort to smooth every tension. Observers see presence reduced. They interpret silence, distance. They call me aloof, cold, changed. They sometimes forget that presence can shift without absence being chosen. There is grief in this transition, loss of fertility, the subtle death of younger selves, dreams deferred. In many studies, perimenopausal women with no prior psychiatric history had 1.8 times greater risk of depression when entering the transition. In China, a latent profile analysis of 1,142 perimenopausal women found that 9.8% fell into a severe depression and anxiety subgroup. 33.7% were borderline, and only 56.5% had minimal symptoms. These symptoms are not just passing moods, they affect daily life, relationships, self-worth, yet they are often underreported and misread. You ask what changed, why I seem quieter now, why I don't speak the way I used to, and maybe why I've become harder to understand. The truth is I feel tired in places you cannot see. I bruise emotionally, more easily than before, so I've learned to guard my peace, sometimes by stepping back, by withdrawing. There are days I start a sentence and never finish it, not because I don't care to speak, but because words feel heavier now. They ask to be earned before they're spoken. I laugh less at small, trivial things, but I cry more at quiet moments, at sudden memories, at glimpses of what once felt simple. I weigh every word before I let it go. Every reaction is measured. Every silence has meaning. It's not that I've disappeared, it's that I've become a vessel for observation rather than disclosure. I notice more, I feel more, but I say less. And from the outside, it might look like distance. To you, it feels like I've become harder to understand, but to me, I'm speaking all the time, just differently. My silence has a language now, a language made of reflection, boundaries, and peace. And if you love someone like me, a woman in this shifting season of life, here is what helps. Ask gently, without judgment. Say, I've noticed you seem quieter lately. How are you feeling? Respect silence as its own form of communication. Don't force explanations, let them arrive when they're ready. Learn with me. Read about what this phase means about hormones, about change, about mood, because language gives understanding, and understanding gives compassion. A simple message, a quiet walk, a shared cup of tea, they remind me I'm still seen. Be patient, because I am not hiding from you. I'm just learning how to live in a body and mind that are changing. I'm learning to map new terrain slowly, tenderly, truthfully, inside my silence. I am still here, still feeling, still loving, just in a different language now. I am transformed, not lost. In this quiet season, I find clearer lines of who I will love, how I will give, where I will rest. And yes, sometimes that means I seem distant, but I am still here. I still ache. I still feel. I still hope, just in a new rhythm. If you lean in with patience, you will learn to hear me again, even in the silences. Have you ever loved someone who slowly grew quieter, who stopped explaining themselves but still felt everything deeply? What did it feel like to stand beside that silence? Or maybe you're the one who carries that silence, the one who protects her peace quietly, who feels deeply but doesn't always say it out loud. What has that journey felt like for you? Share your story, whether it's about someone you love or about you, because silence has many voices and every one of them matters.